Welcome to Elton's Retirement Journey and Travels. My name is John. In this video, avoiding the torpedoes of retirement, I wanted to feature someone who has helped me so much in preparing for early retirement. And that person is going to be Joe Kuhn. During my preparations for retirement, ran across Joe's channel, and boy, I began attending early retirement webcasts on how to successfully. I call him the professor. Joe worked for Alcoa as a reliability engineer and plant manager. I think he's more modest. Believe he was a vice president, or at least at that pay grade. First time I heard of deferred compensation was on his channel. I always thought it was for the athletes, where you get a big contract, down the road you get the rest of it. Joe retired at 54, 6 years ago, and really details the ins and outs of being in the fire movement. Retiring early at 54. You really got to have your act together when you come out that early. You got that many years before 62 kicks in and you have any opportunity to take Medicare. He introduced me to Bowden, ChatGPT, and a host of valuable insights on retirement. Has accumulated some resources, mostly out of Indiana, if you need someone to speak with and help with your retirement. So one of the strong points that Joe has that attracted me is his analytical and research abilities. He researches in very, very detail the ins and outs of retirement, all your different options. He's very, very good at that. And, for someone to retire at the age of 54 and has no real plans on doing anything other than waiting until at least you get 65 to go on Medicare, you really got to have your act together. He's very, very heavy on fixed income investments. Clearly, he's got his income set aside for the next 10 years and really taught me how you need to be prepared for a down market. I remember when we worked at the recycling company, we used to ship rail cars full of aluminum up to Alcoa, and that's a pretty big operation. And for someone to be in his position, he had to be really, really good. And deciding to leave and just go into retirement, you also had to be financially fit, which he is. If you were the type of person who you're thinking about coming out of work early, this is definitely a channel you want to subscribe to. I was just taking a look at some of his videos. I was trying to use ChatGPT to see if I could search on his channel and come up with everything healthcare. It didn't really pull up his videos, but I found a couple. He really covered the ins and outs of the faith-based healthcare, Obamacare, the COBRA, going directly with a healthcare provider. And then he brought up the Indiana Farm Bureau, which a lot of people don't know about. And I actually took a look at that here in Georgia. And they have a Georgia Farm Bureau, and they do offer quite a few insurances. And it's basically designed for sole proprietor and anyone with less than 50 employees. So that wouldn't be something I can use. But he does go in very detail as those options, and he outlines what he wants from his healthcare. And there's nobody better that does that type of research than Joe. So I'm featuring Joe today. I've been on his channel. He does use a software package called Bowden. He is a partner with them. And that software does exactly what you expect it to do. I messaged him saying, hey, I'm thinking about coming out at 65. And he said, hey, I would, suggest you go into Bowden. And what I found is that in Bowden, when you go in and you add your income in there, it gives you the option to start and stop. For like my full-time job, That's gone because I retired. I've been retired for a whole week now from Morgan Stanley. So the money I was making is gone now. And it took the money I put in for my part-time job, which is an estimate, and then the money from my side hustle, which goes up to 70, and after that it will be gone. And it showed in pink what I had as a deficit, which I already knew. At least for this year and next year, as well as it will be the age of 65 and 66. At 67, the picture looks a lot rosier, and it shows what I would need to cover all my expenses, because I have my expenses on the spreadsheet and I put that in there. So it came back and said I need 21,000, including for all expenses and my taxes. Now it doesn't include walking around money. That's just to stay even, which I already knew that. So the software package is very powerful. It will give you a good estimate on what you need. Now, since I'm using the 2-week, it kind of grayed out on the tax portion. I'd have to upgrade to Partner Plus, I think is what they call it. But anyway, he does promote that. And it's actually a very good tool to look at. I got 99%. I was up listening to Joe and I said, let me go ahead and try this. And 99 is about as high as you can get. So I feel pretty comfortable with it. And I'll keep using my 7 spreadsheets because they put the data out there. And since I work for a Wall Street investment bank and I'm not under any type of oversight, I track my investments because I'm looking to sell shares when they're high. And if we have a dip, I've got some investments that I looked at how they had dipped back in February and how they recovered. That happens again in the Trump administration. I'm dumping a couple $1,000 in there. And if it turns over in 30 days, well, I can sell it. Whereas at the investment firm that I was at, you can't do that. You have to hold these investments for at least 90 days, and then you're under oversight. So that's one of the reasons why I left. But anyway, Joe is real good at analyzing. He's got, nearly 1,000 videos out there. And if you are looking to retire early, I strongly recommend you take a look at his channel. He does come out with the same information over again. I see he had a video out 3 years ago on healthcare, and then it was easier for him to make the most recent one because he's already covered the material, and he just spit it right out. And so I'm featuring Joe Kuhn, and I call him the professor. It's like going to a college webinar where you turn him on and he's right there lecturing. And he's helped me out a great deal, and he's contributed significantly to my ability to retire. So look up Joe Kuhn. And my name is John. Thanks for watching, and go ahead and subscribe. I operate a retiring club, and we're going to be coming up with some new meetings about retiring early and moving our investments around. And I'm pretty much sure we're going to be covering healthcare. Thanks, and make it a good day.